What's good, thousandaires? It's your boy, Mr. 2000. I wasn't gonna do this one. I was really sitting there thinking, and I was in my bed and I couldn't sleep. So I said, man, let me go ahead and just address this. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not really feeling 50 Cent musically lately. In fact, I haven't really felt anything 50 Cent had musically for years now. I think the last 50 Cent album I bought was his fourth album, and I didn't even listen to it that much, and I only bought it because I thought Get Up was on there. Get Up was a song that he had featured on a mini movie he did that came with that album, and Get Up was like the last song that I actually liked by 50 Cent. Everything after that was kind of corny, and even with the Curtis album, Curtis album was kind of whack to me. I'm be honest with you. Now, this was going on. 50 Cent, well, T.I. challenged 50 Cent to a versus battle. Now, if you are been under a rock, versus is a series that Swiss Beats and Timbaland do. Basically, is they put two artists together. They play like 20 songs on their repertoire, and each round we judge which song is better each round. And really, it's about positioning on the song. It's not about who has the most hits. It's about who has the best song in that round. T.I. challenged him. It was friendly. And, of course, in true 50 Cent nature, he trolled him. Now, I don't know if this is, like, all a part of the gimmick or if this is all a part of, just the hype for this battle if it happens, because I haven't really heard if it's confirmed or not. But, basically, 50 Cent kind of shitted on him a little bit, and it was kind of crazy. But then, T.I. brought up a good point. He basically told 50 Cent that if he was in the Midwest, he'd be Nelly. And at first, I took immediate offense to that because if you guys don't know, I'm in the Midwest. I'm in Kansas. Kansas is right under Missouri. So when Nelly blew up, it almost felt like somebody from my state blew up. And we definitely support Midwest. Midwest artists support each other, for real. From Bone Thugs and Harmony to Jay Dilla, rest in peace, all the way to Tech Nine. We support everybody. The Brat, first platinum female artist ever in hip-hop. We support the hell out of our artists. We love the hell out of our artists because we're all we got. Yes, we got the West Coast and the South for that support, especially the South. Shout out to the South. But for the most part, East Coast is always giving us some type of weird-ass shade. But then I had to really think about what T.I. was saying. Basically, when T.I. said that if he was in the Midwest, he'd be Nelly, you had to really think about it. You got to look at the chart comparisons when it comes to Nelly versus 50 Cent. And it's almost identical as far as album sales and whatnot. 50 Cent and Nelly both had smash #1 first albums. The second albums did okay, and then it kind of went to hell from there. So now, technically, 50 Cent did sell more albums worldwide than Nelly did. This dude went 2 times platinum in Australia, 6 times platinum in Canada, 3 times platinum in Denmark, 3 times platinum in Russia, 4 times platinum in the United Kingdom, and 9 times platinum in the United States. And that's just a few. There's other places too, like Belgium, France, Germany, where he saw either platinum or gold success. And Nelly only went platinum in like a few spots. Like he went diamond here, of course. He went gold in the United Kingdom, 3 times platinum in Canada and New Zealand, and platinum in Australia. Okay, and a lot of people are saying, 50 Cent, he sold more albums, but you gotta look at it from this perspective. 50 Cent, when Nelly came out, Nelly's rise to stardom was organic as hell. And when I say organic, I mean Nelly's one of those artists who came out as Nelly. He didn't come out as Nelly on somebody else's back. He didn't come out as Nelly featuring on a dope ass song. He didn't come out as Nelly getting shot 9 times. He didn't come out, he didn't have a plug except for regional with the St. Lunatics. And when I say regional, I mean St. Louis, Chicago, Kansas City area. He didn't really have the explosion that 50 Cent had. Now let's look at 50 Cent. 50 Cent first came out. When he first came out, he had Track Masters. He was featured on the Mad Rapper. Had the How to Rob and Steal joint. He was featured on a lot of songs. 50 Cent had a whole album that was going to come out before he got shot. But then they shelved the album and he got dropped from his label. And then he started, he's in New York. So he has all this pull because people already know who the hell he is because that How to Rob and Steal was pretty dope. You know what I'm saying, at the time. And then, he hooked up with Eminem, like the #1 rapper in the world, toured with him. So anybody that toured with Eminem is going to see some type of success. That's going to happen. That's just whatever. So I'm sure if Nelly came out and toured with Jay-Z, or if Nelly came out and toured with a bigger artist when he first came out, he would have sold more records. But at the same time, 50 Cent seems to think that's above it. Yeah, 50 Cent got more things under his belt, business-wise, acting, or whatever. But at the same time, I feel like 50 Cent is like mad irrelevant now as far as music. Everything else is cool, but I think 50 Cent's music days are over. And speaking of the versus battle, why are you millennials acting like T.I. is just trash? Yeah, 50 Cent had the big smash albums and they did well with the money and everything like that. But at the same time, you got to understand, the versus battle isn't about 50's side projects. It's not about Vitamin Water. It's not about his movies. It's not about Power. It's not about none of that. It's about music. And to be honest with you, not counting the mixtapes, because everybody's trying to throw the mixtapes in. That's not fair. And if you want to be real, T.I. got mixtapes too. You know what I'm saying? And I don't give a damn what y'all say. Those G Unit mixtapes weren't that dope. You know what I'm saying? The only rapper I know that had mixtapes that were just fire like that was like Max B. Other than that, 50 Cent and the G Unit mixtapes were okay. They were okay. They weren't. And let's not forget the tragedy that was the G Unit albums themselves. Them shits were not what we expect. Let's be honest with you. I mean, Get Rich or Die Trying did really, really well. You look at the whole thing with the Massacre. Massacre did pretty good. It sold about half of what Get Rich did. You know what I'm saying? Not the, as far as like other countries as well. Curtis is where his downfall really started kind of showing his head. In the United States, Curtis only did 1 million, so that's platinum, and then everywhere else it sold under. So that's where it all started kind of coming ahead. Before I self-destruct, you look at that joint, that went platinum as well, barely. And then Animal Ambition, I don't even think that went platinum. Nope, it did not go platinum. Animal Ambition is kind of, you know what I'm saying? So that pretty much ends 50 Cent's album career. Labels like artists that can produce projects that are successful, that are consistent. So one album that sells 10 million albums is great. That's beautiful. Yes, we love that. Makes us money. But what about the next album, and the album after that, and the album after that? Let's fulfill this contract before, you still got a contract to do, bro. You said X amount of albums, but, this album did good, but, we looking for album 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, 50 Cent's numbers went down drastically over time. I mean, it literally was like a pitfall, and that's normal for artists. Not everybody can do what Michael Jackson did, and even Michael Jackson's numbers from Thriller on back went down. It wasn't like Michael Jackson was constantly putting out diamond albums, literally. Like, Bad didn't do as good as Thriller, needed it. Dangerous, needed it. History, all them joints didn't do that as well as they should have done. But as far as 50 Cent goes, I mean, the way he's talking like, he's done something that no one else has ever done before. When, let's be 100, if you look at the Macarena was a song, like a one-off song by a group. It was an old song, and they remixed it, and that remix sold like 4 million copies, and just off of that one song. You can't name another song off of that project that was just super dope. You know what I'm saying? Then you got the Baja Men, Who Let the Dogs Out. That whole album sold 3 million copies. 3 times platinum. That's ridiculous. And that's just off of one song. You can't name another. Well, I can. I like the Baha Man, but most people can't name another song off the Baha Man project. And now we get to MC Hammer. MC freaking Hammer. This is the dude that hip hop loves to disrespect. I'm gonna do a video on MC Hammer, but y'all love to disrespect MC Hammer. But MC Hammer is probably one of the highest selling artists in hip hop. Please Hammer Don't Hurt Him, the album that has You Can't Touch This on it. US, Diamond Certified. United Kingdom, 2 times platinum. Canada, 8 times platinum. So in Canada, it sold almost as much as the US. Everywhere else went gold, and that was off of one album. MC Hammer at the time was the highest paid, highest selling artist in hip hop history. I don't know if that's been beaten yet, but goddamn, that's Thriller numbers. Hammer was putting up Thriller numbers, and he was humble as hell. So yes, you're gonna put some respect on T.I.P's name. This nigga T.I.P. is one of the most consistent artists in the South. I think Ludacris is like the only one that probably got one up on him. T.I., and we haven't even got to the features yet. Y'all forget, see, with these versus battles, everybody forgets about the fucking features. Yes, an artist can use their features. See, I don't even know they can use the mixtape joints, because a lot of those mixtape joints that 50 did was off of, like, other people's production and stuff. So I'm not even sure if you can use that. You know, I don't know. Somebody might want to check with Swiss and Tim on that one. I don't know. But I know this much. T.I.'s mixtapes are mostly original beats. So he might be able to get away with that one. But he doesn't need to. Features, album hits, remixes alone. Damn. You know what I'm saying? Let's just be honest. You know what I'm saying? Not to mention, a lot of the Grand Hustle artists, you know, T.I. got some stuff under his belt. So don't count Tip out this early. And let's be real, you know what I'm saying? The South is going to ride for T.I. I'm just going to put it out there. I mean, this is going to be East Coast South battle. They're going to come in droves. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to let T.I. go down without a fight. You know what I'm saying? This dude T.I. has joints he can pull out. He can literally pull out stuff that he did with A-Ball MJG, stuff he did with Ludacris, stuff he did with Jermaine Dupri, stuff he did with pretty much Justin Timberlake. I know 50 Cent got a song with Justin Timberlake, AO Technology. And not to mention, 50 Cent, oh man, he was trying to ride that Future Sex Love sound wave, and that just didn't work out that great. And let me remind y'all of the 50 Cent Kanye battle and how Graduation washed Curtis. Washed it totally. And 50 was supposed to retire. Well, he kind of did. He didn't really have no hit albums after that. But for the most part, 50 Cent, I think he's in over his head. I think T.I. is definitely a contender for this belt. He can definitely take it all. If he really puts his heart to it and he really positions his songs really good, he can wash 50 Cent. He doesn't have an answer for In the Club. I'm going to be honest with you. He doesn't have an answer for In the Club. He probably doesn't have an answer for I Whip Your Head Boy. He doesn't have an answer for, I don't know. That's pretty much it. Everything else, I mean, Mini Man maybe, and Wankster. Those are the 4 songs that he has to worry about. Everything else, if 50 Cent pulled those 4 songs, which he will, and put them on this battle, T.I. needs to position his songs where he pushes like weaker songs against those. Like, I wouldn't put Swagger Like Us against any of those songs, because basically let 50 have those 4 wins and then sweep them the rest of the thing. Slow and steady wins the race, man. That's my advice to Tip. But I feel like my money's on T.I.P. I feel like T.I.P. is going to sweep them if they do the battle. 50 Cent's why going to keep talking shit. And if the battle doesn't happen, I'm going to look at it like 50 Cent is pretty much the reason why it didn't happen. Like, it should have happened. Now, I will say this. Tip, you said you wanted to battle Jay-Z. Yeah. OG, you over your head on that one. I don't think Jay-Z is the one you want to deal with. There are certain people in this versus game that you don't want to battle. There's Jay-Z, Mary J. Blige, if he wasn't in jail, R. Kelly, and Snoop Dogg. Those are the 4 artists I would honestly say nobody should even consider battling. That's just being 100. because those endless hits. Endless hits. So I don't really think, hell, I said Faith Evans and Mary J. Blige, and then I had to hurry up and think about that and say, nah, Faith to get swept. You know, now I did say Faith Evans and Kelly Price. Also, I would like to reiterate the fact that 50 had a lot of money and power backing him when Get Rich or Die Trying dropped. Let's be 100. Rankster was on the 8 Mile soundtrack that was like the most popular movie of the year. Also, I think it won like an Academy Award or something like that. Also, you got to understand that was an era that was coming down off of a successful tour, which was the Up in Smoke tour, 2001. I know 50 Cent came out a few years later, but they were still riding the static of that because there were rumors that the concert was going to have a sequel. It never came out, but I'm being honest with you, dude. This dude had every dope West Coast artist behind him. Exhibit, Snoop Dogg, you know, Dr. Dre. He had Eminem, who's a Midwest artist, but Eminem, the #1 rapper behind him. Not to mention, it was so much hype behind 50 Cent. It was ridiculous. I mean, he literally signed one of the highest deals of the times. It was unheard of at the time. So, hey, I'm just going to be real with you, man. 50 Cent had the cheat code. So, yes, of course he's going to be successful. That's just being real. That's all. That's being 100. But like I said, man, my money's on T.I.P. Hopefully we get this battle. Hopefully everything works out and they can do it and they be professional. And 50 Cent ain't being childish. It can just have some fun. But like I said, my money's on T.I.P. Who's your money on? Let me know what you think in the comments. How you feel about everything. And hey, don't get mad at me. It's just a fan's perspective. Holla at your boy. Thank you for watching. If you like my content, I would love for you to support my Patreon page. Starting as low as $3 per month, you can contribute to my media. Contributions allow me to upgrade equipment and more time to dedicate to bring you up-to-date videos and merchandise. Click the link below in the description to get started today. And again, thank you so much for supporting me all these years.